Hi everyone, I'm Toby. Welcome to Wellness on Screen. I want us to look at mental health, but through the sort of the lens of our favorite characters on TV and in film.
It's fun.
And really kind of grapple with what we can learn from those characters.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Each week, what I want to do, folks, look at sort of like clips from films and TV and really kind of unpack the psychology, the emotions, the life lessons that are hidden in there. How does that sound?
It sounds like fun. I think there's a lot that we can explore and unpack and hopefully have it done in such a way that it can be of use to so many other folks out there.
So we should tell you we're brothers and we're therapists and we work together.
So what's the first show you're starting with?
That's exactly where I was going to go.
Gilligan's Island.
That would be funny though. Gilligan's Island. What the hell's in Gilligan's Island anyway? No, we're not doing Gilligan's Island. That's going to be that folks, that'll be a future episode. But today we're starting with something much more serious. Ted Lasso, a show that mixes humor, heart, and some surprisingly raw moments. I mean, what are you nodding? You don't know.
I'm looking forward to it.
Nodding.
I'm here to react, so I'm reacting.
He's a therapist, right? Nodding.
Right?
So just mixes some raw moments, sort of raw energy that I think we can all relate to in this show. So you've seen it? You haven't seen it?
I have not seen it,
Okay.
so I'll be reacting fresh. Yeah, I think it sounds great.
That's cool. So let me just catch you up. Just before we run this first clip, let me catch you up. Spoiler alert.
View this
Cover
video
your
at a later
eyes.
time or,
Switch
put
to
that out
Gilligan's
there.
Island.
Yes.
just for the clips. So here's the context. Are you ready? So Ted is, because you haven't seen the show at all, Ted is an American football coach,
Okay.
all right, who gets hired to coach an English soccer team. But he doesn't know anything about soccer. In the background, he's going through a divorce. His son lives back in the States. And Ted is this kind of guy that has this sort of, he's constantly optimistic. But what we learn about him through the show is that he's sort of hiding that pain behind that optimism. So the theme today for this episode of our show is panic, positivity, and the emotional cost of always holding things in. So let's jump into the first clip. So this is season 1. Ted and a group, they're at karaoke, and Rebecca, one of the lead characters, is singing Let It Go from Frozen. The words are just like, Ted's just feeling them like at the core. Okay, you ready for this?
I
just love the song.
Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know.
You can see it's almost like she's talking directly to Ted. And there he is, it's starting. You can hear that ringing in his head. Ooh.
He's maxing out emotionally.
Yeah. Look, he's got his head down. Oh,
He's really
he's
overwhelmed.
bolting. Yeah, he's bolting.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a hard place to be right there. Right where he is now. It's like
treading water.
Emergency, yeah. Am I drowning? Oh, look at him. He's kind of clawed up.
Ted. It's okay.
Oh,
It's okay.
oh.
Try to breathe.
I can't.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Short of breath. He can't even breathe.
Just breathe.
So I've had so many panic attacks, and I've been in that exact space where I'm like on the verge of, do I run out of this room, or do I somehow pull it together? And a couple times I've had to run, and many times now I've been able to just kind of like somehow pull it back together. But having someone like Rebecca that just shows up and just helps me, I mean, that's everything, right?
Right. It is just so powerful. It really captures the intensity, and it's almost like a frontal assault out of nowhere, kind of depict how isolated and lonely and kind of like all alone a person can be when they go through that type of a thing,
Yeah, and I think for a guy like Ted Lasso, you don't know this about him yet, but for a guy like Ted Lasso, who's always so happy, so cheerful, there to help everybody else, for him to just like lose it completely, especially in a public setting like that, I mean, that's just amplifies how difficult that experience is for him. In that moment, he thinks his nightmare is coming true. Whatever that nightmare is, he thinks it's coming true. And so, the only thing he thinks he can do in that space is run. I got to get out of here. I can't, let my friends see that, or I can't have a breakdown in front of everybody, And so he's got to get to a safe space or a safe place, and then just try to breathe, try to get back kind of grounded.
He's really in fight or flight, he's really in fight or flight, and that's when our body puts us on high alert, and it's basically like our home security system. What you can do is relax your muscles and take slow, deep breaths and try and get grounded. And as people learn about what panic attacks are and how panic attacks work, they can start to be aware of, oh yeah, I see what's happening.
How accurate do you think this is?
Oh, I think it's terrific. I think it's very accurate. I think that this is, it's so powerful because this is what happens, right? Obviously, different people experience panic in different ways, and it really shows like how overwhelming this sudden, intense fear can just debilitate a person.
Yeah, I think it's dead on, and I think this next clip that we're going to look at in a second, I think this next clip it sort of takes it to another level. Here in the second spot, we're looking at Ted Lasso having his second panic attack in the show and on screen, except he's in the middle of a Premier League football match. He's in front of 50,000 fans, and the team there, I don't know what's happening on the field, but all of a sudden, there it is, right? Hasn't happened at a football game yet, but here it is. And so why don't we watch this?
Sounds good.
All right, this is that second attack. Look, you can see how right away things are slowing down. It's like, wait, where am I? It starts to really, that sort of blurriness that you see, that your eyes start to shift. Oh.
Tingling in his hands.
Yeah, hands going to pockets, trying to resist it, hold it in.
Difficulty breathing.
Sound of everything gets all twisted.
Yeah, no. I gotta go. My stomach.
Oh no.
Has to escape.
What's happening? He said his stomach.
Can't abandon the game.
Well, we've seen this before. Lasso appears to be leaving.
I know that run. That's the run of a man who just ate a bad fish pie.
Chris, is there a good
Oh no,
fish
he
pie?
didn't have a bad fish pie. I mean, I don't know what your experience, but for me, when I've had panic attacks, I mean, everything's off. My vision's just a little off. What I'm hearing, I mean, I've just got this anxiety. It's like I've gotten on a rocket ship and I'm heading into anxiety outer space, and I don't know how to stop it. I mean, I've learned since that what I need to actually do is just hold on and just have confidence that I'm going to be all right. But wow.
People experience panic differently. Some people feel like they can't breathe. Some people feel like the sky is falling. Everybody interprets it differently, but I think what we all can do is try to get grounded, and when we're in a state of panic, we're elevated. We're really kind of cranked up. One of the easiest ways that you can get grounded is go to a quiet place, maybe turn off the light, dim the light, sit down, lie down, relax your muscles, and practice box breathing.
Let's show them exactly how this goes, all right? So I'm gonna be the counselor, you're gonna be Ted.
Okay.
Okay? Ted, first thing I'm gonna teach you, okay, is whenever if you're having an anxiety attack, I want you to box breathe. Let's do an example of box breathing.
Okay.
So it's inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4.
And
then you repeat. Right, and then you repeat.
Do that 3 to
Right.
5 times, and if you're still feeling tense and anxious, take another 3 to 5 slow, deep breaths.
All right, so let's try it. All right, you ready, Ted?
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and hold for 4. That's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 we can use, and really what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get grounded. We're on that rocket ship going outer space, and we need to find a way to get ourselves back down to earth. So the second exercise, Ted.
Don't call me Gilligan.
Pretend you're Gilligan. No, we're gonna do that in a different show. That's gonna be good. I want you to wear the hat.
All right.
Okay, second exercise is 3 things you can see, 2 things you can feel, 1 thing you can hear. Tell me 3 things you can.
I can see the chair, I can see the painting, I can see the bird on the tree.
2 things you can feel.
I can feel the cushion, I can feel sunlight.
And 1 you can hear.
And I can hear the sound of water from the river across the street.
Okay. So what this does, folks, we're in the desert, by the way. I didn't say make up 3 things.
It's not bionic hearing, okay?
Okay, so what this exercise does, though, folks, is it helps you get out of feeling like you're on the rocket ship, and it helps you get into this moment right here, right now. One other thing that you can do, Ted, is carry something, like a coin or a rock or something, like a smooth one that you might get from the beach. Something meaningful, though, something meaningful to you that can help you just kind of get back to yourself when you're in one of these situations. And for Ted, you haven't seen this, but for Ted, he actually uses one of these little toy soldiers, and he holds one of those, I think, in his pocket or his coat pocket, and that's something that he reaches to help him through these hard times.
And I think that's really what we're trying to do, is we're trying to detach from that catastrophic thought.
Right.
And it might not even be a catastrophic thought that's triggering the panic. Somebody could be getting an MRI, and they're lying in that MRI bed, and they start going deep into the tube, and all of a sudden panic strikes them.
One thing that I want to mention too, and this is really important, folks, is that these little tricks are good for when you're on the rocket ship, but there's a bunch of other stuff that's really important too. Sleep, healthy eating, routines. These are the things that get us stable and keep us stable day in and day out. And when
Self-care.
Something comes up, like we're at a ball game or at a football match, and this big stress starts to surge like that, if we are taking care of ourselves, we're much better able to tackle that.
I mean, we could talk for a long time about the importance of healthy living, because that really is the foundation, right?
That's where
health.
Resilience comes. That's where the resilience
getting
comes
a good night's sleep, having a reasonable exercise, going for walks, breathing some fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things can really help establish a good mental health foundation.
Most people, what happens is they experience panic out of nowhere, right? And actually, and subsequent attacks come on like that as well. You're just doing your regular life, and bang, there it is. It hits you. It's like a storm showed up when, up until 5 seconds ago, the sky was blue, and then bang.
Yeah.
Your world is rocked, and you don't know how to get out of it.
But also it can happen as a result of an accumulation of stress over a long period of time.
Right.
And then there's one thing that's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right.
And that could initiate a panic attack.
Right. So, Mark, one of the things that's really cool about this show is not just about panic. We have this great character, Ted Lasso. Not only is he dealing with panic, but from a mental health perspective, he's trying to deal with it by being like constantly optimistic, right? This sort of power of positivity. I mean, I think you and I, we love that, right? We love people trying to find like the cup half full, right? As opposed to, oh my God, how terrible it all is. This third clip, let's set up this third clip for you to watch. This third clip is him meeting with the team psychologist, and he knows he needs some counseling to help with panic. Not everybody needs to go to counseling, of course, right? But when you start having panic attacks and you got to run off the field, I mean, whether that's at work or whether that's in your relationships or whatever, you got to run off the field. It's time to do a little more work,
Absolutely.
Because this is getting really destructive
Absolutely.
in your life.
So this is Terzetta.
Oh, come on.
It is the #1 weight loss loss medication.
Number one, man.
Right now. This is not only a GLP-1,
Hit me with it.
What did you love about him?
Why?
So this is the moment.
You told me what you hate about him. I'd love to hear something you remember that made you feel good.
When I was in 5th or 6th grade, there was this book called Johnny Tremaine. And our homework for like a month was to read this book. At the end of the month, I hadn't read a lick of it. And we had a test, big test, like the next day. And the night before, I was anxious as all heck, and I couldn't sleep. And my dad starts getting after me about that. And I start crying. And he's like, "Whoa, buddy, what's wrong? What's wrong?" And I tell him what's up. And he says, "Hey, don't worry about it. Okay, just go up to your room, lay your head on your pillow, and think about something you're looking forward to." So that's what I did.
Sweetness.
Next morning, I wake up, and he says, "Hey, you ain't gonna ride your bike to school. I'm gonna drive you." I'm all right. And on the way to school, he talks me through the entire book, like it's a bedtime story or something. Because he stayed up all night, the whole night, reading the whole damn thing. Because he didn't want his little boy stressed out over some stupid, silly test. Mm-hmm. And I ended up getting an A. Oh. Mm-hmm. He was a good dad. And I don't think he knew that. I think if he would have known how good he was and stuff he didn't really care about being good at, I don't think he would have done it. And I wish I would have told him. I wish I would have told him more. I was just so angry at him. Because he was always gone at work and just out with friends or something like that. And then he was gone. And I knew right then and there that I was never going to let anybody get by me without understanding they might be hurting inside, you know? Life, it's hard. It's real hard.
Thank you, Ted.
I don't know if this is illegal or something, but can I have a hug?
Sure.
Where the sugar?
It's okay.
Are you going to charge me for this session?
Of course I am.
Okay.
For the house call.
I appreciate your integrity.
You're welcome.
So, what did you see there?
Well, it's such a powerful scene. You can see that he's been carrying this tremendous internal weight his whole life.
Yeah.
And it's just gotten to the point where it's unmanageable. It's too much.
Yeah.
And there's no question that has a massive impact on his panic attacks.
Yeah.
You know, he's walking around with this 50-pound lead weight inside, running out of the ability to cope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What he's been using all these years are no longer cutting it.
Yeah. And I think what it shows us as well is that, panic is kind of a bit like smoke, but in Ted's case, it's trauma that's the fire kind of underneath all that.
Absolutely.
And that fire can't go out, unless he's gonna actually let it out.
He's got to unpack it.
You hold that fire in forever, where's it gonna go? So this is the moment. Probably the first time in his life. Who knows? He may not have told anyone about that. I mean, probably his wife and whatnot. But who talks about their dad's suicide? Not someone like Ted. He's just too positive a person. Beautifully positive, but still. The other piece, Mark, is, the other sort of variable that's going on here is, he has this breakup that's happening in the background of his life. He's thousands of miles away. He's away from his son, who he loves dearly, and he can't be the dad that he promised himself he would be to his own son. Just boiling underneath all this positivity.
It's like a perfect storm.
Yes, all this positivity. And the positivity is beautiful. I mean, this is why this show is so touching. You can't help but love Ted, but you can't help but just feel so deeply for this space that he's in.
Here is this really good person who cannot heal himself.
Right.
Because for some reason, his whole life he's been unwilling or unable to unpack this.
How common or accurate?
Very, very common, very accurate. I think, especially with the older generations, you know, they were not taught.
Yeah, it was all suck it up, right?
Well, I mean, you know, 50 years ago, people got locked up for mental health problems.
Yeah.
So that definitely had something to do with, you know, the attitudes and the beliefs that many older generations have towards mental health, depression, schizophrenia, anxiety.
Right.
They were afraid.
Well, you were crazy. You were crazy. They didn't even use all those terms necessarily. You were just crazy.
The attitudes have definitely changed, and hopefully the stigma will start to go away. You know, mental health is extremely important. We know that, you know, people that work on their mental health have higher rates of success, better health in general, higher degrees of happiness. You know, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
The amygdala, which is a region of the brain, puts the person into fight or flight, which triggers some internal biophysical responses, which include increase in heart rate, increase in blood pressure, cortisol spike, adrenaline hits the bloodstream. So that individual basically goes on high alert for a short period of time. Their heart starts racing, or, you know, they might feel a lot of stimulation, higher blood pressure, higher respiration, sweating, a little sick to their stomach.
Like they're having a heart attack.
Yeah,
like they want to run and get out of there at all costs.
Absolutely, absolutely. So your body basically puts you at a high level of functioning so that you can escape a threat, or you can run, or you can freeze, or you can stand and fight.
Right. And that's great if a lion's chasing you.
Right.
But if you're actually at home, like, you know, lying in bed, and all that surges up,
yeah, and if you don't know about what's
wherever
happening.
you are. Yeah. You know, I think today our theme was panic, positivity, and the emotional cost of keeping it all in. And I think that Ted really kind of brings home for us what it's like to carry around heavy duty trauma and try your best in the world. The purpose of these videos is to share wellness ideas and strategies and to promote mental health awareness. It's okay for Ted to reach out, to talk about the problems that he's having. In fact, it's his lifesaver. That's how he's going to be that most successful dad. That's how he's going to be that most successful coach. This scene that we just watched, you know, also I just want to say something about the counselor. The scene that we just watched really kind of shows us something about relational safety. And for those of you that haven't been into counseling before, you know, walking in and sitting down with someone who's just present and who's just not judging you and is just open to hearing about you and is there to support you. This is sort of a level of safety that you don't see normally in your life. And it's the opportunity to start to let stuff out. And you know, in TV and in our culture, a lot of times, you know, especially men, especially tough men who are in charge of football teams, you know, they're not portrayed as vulnerable, you know, or as going to counseling. I mean, you know, that's just not part of it. And so it's kind of refreshing to see this here.
And it's also
okay
refreshing to see the younger generation embrace counseling and mental health. And you know, I think in today's world, the younger generation really feel that, you know, mental health is a serious and important thing. The better our mental health, the more success, the happier we're going to be, and the better our life is going to unfold.
I often tell people, you know, if you're a top athlete, would you have a coach? And they go, oh, sure, I'd have a coach. Yeah, of course. Well, why not have a mental health coach then? And that's really what a counselor is a mental health coach, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing different. And coaches need coaches, and therapists need therapists, don't we? Every now and then, we need to sit down with a therapist and have a talk and let some stuff out and process. And
electroshock therapy.
I don't like that part. Yeah. Let's wrap up. Let's wrap up let's wrap up this episode. So, you know, if you've ever felt like Ted, whether it's that you're holding in trauma or panic is just overwhelming you, you're not alone. In fact, there are terrific tools that you can use on your own. You don't need to come and see Mark or me or go see a counselor. there's terrific tools that you can use on your own that will help you get over this stuff. And the success rate getting over panic, very, very high. There's a recipe for it. And if you don't follow the recipe, it doesn't work. It doesn't work very well. It goes away, comes back, goes away, comes back. Use the recipe and things get better.
You know, if you've been putting off talking about something, or if there's water under the bridge that you've been holding back by building a wall and just trying to seal it off, you know, maybe it's time to go look for a therapist and start to unpack that and process that and get past that part of your life.
If you found this episode interesting, there's an article, you can go to the description. There's an article that kind of takes these themes and takes them a little bit further. That's going to be good reading. In the next episode, we're breaking down the relationship between Ted and Dr. Sharon and the impact of emotional avoidance on trust. So remember, panic isn't weakness, okay? It's just your body waving a white flag, all right? Listen to it. Let us know in the comments what part of the Ted Lasso show really resonates with you. We'd love to hear.
And thanks for joining us today. And remember, the best way out is always through.
All right, that'd give you a blooper.
Well, we talk about isolation today. You want to talk isolation? Think about Gilligan. He was in a shipwreck in the middle of the South Pacific. Right? He's got a couple of millionaires there. Now that's not going to be fun. You got no money, but you got a couple of millionaires around with you on a desert island.
A grumpy captain, let's be honest. The
All
captain
right.
was really...
And then there was a professor who was very, erudite.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Gilligan. Barely knows how to tie his shoes.